What's going on YouTube? This is your boy AshTheMan. Thank you so much for definitely tuning in. So I was gonna do the Tokyo Ghoul chapter review, but seeing that the chapter review would have been so short because of the fact the only thing we can really focus on is mainly that, like Rize and Kaneki, like making the appearance. I just want to touch more on Tokyo Ghoul theory of mine, so we could get a little bit more, like video out there. Now, this Tokyo Ghoul re of mine is mainly going to focus on Kaneki as a protagonist and who will ultimately be the anti-protagonist, the villain of the whole series. Now, my theory is this because the thing is that at the end of the recent chapter for Tokyo Ghoul, we got to see the former director of the CCG, Washu, greet this female figure, which he referred to Rize. Now, I just want to touch this a little bit because honestly, Rize is not dead. I just want to make that very official. Rize is not dead, and it says she's never been dead. The thing is that when the beamers first hit Rize, pretty much she was captured because of the fact that she was more vulnerable. If she take a serious damage, she still, is able to regenerate it for what it seems like, but at the same time, it left her vulnerable to be captured to be used as a test subject. And just as a witness to it, in the regular Tokyo Ghoul series, they reference to Rize a few times. We've seen Kaneki has, hallucinations that involve Rize. But proof that she is alive, the hour of suppression, the raid of Konosu's lab, and also the clown siege. All of those was proof because in different situations she has been there and they had to move her to a different location. She got captured by another organization. Now they're keeping her restrained and they only feed her enough to make sure that she survives. Now, with the former director of CCG, Washu, and his love that he had for Rize, just to give you a little bit of a backstory to this. Now, Wushu and Rize is sort of like half brothers and half sisters. They was born into a very dignified house. Now, when Rize, when she was first introduced as a ghoul, pretty much, he, on the other hand, his ghoul powers wasn't as far as, great because he was just a test subject when the former director, CCG Wushu, was, pretty much back in the day. Now, in the terms of it now, with all the experiments and the same thing that Kaneki went through, they actually have more of an idea on how to experiment, and apparently he made himself more stronger, had abnormal abilities, in which, it definitely has been shown of how heightening ability is when you refer to someone like Armor, who was a failed test subject of the half ghoul, half human project. A lot of people, who watches the series or don't read the manga may or may not know about that, but Armor is definitely was a failed test subject because previously his hair actually, was a little bit blue back then before they did, when they increased the experiments on him. Now, Rize hunger got a little bit out of control, and pretty much they wanted to keep her detained. Washu basically helped her in being released, and that's when Rize pretty much was going toward feeding on what she wanted to, living like a free spirit, an outrage, hunger, mad free spirit. Just eating any, poor human who was left by themselves. Until the day she met Kaneki. Kaneki pretty much, almost died because of her. But it turns, Wushu sees that the opportunity he gave her was going to waste because she was just all over the place. She was uncontrollable. Nobody can really, do anything to kind of like, hey, look, You don't need to be feeding like that, going just insane to be crazy. But she was. She was going into different territories. That's kind of like, stirring up, the CCG to do more investigation. She pretty much kind of draw their attention a little bit more to the war. So Rize was becoming a problem, not only for the CCG, but also becoming a problem towards the Ghouls also. That's why she was on everybody's list. Now, in this terms, Wushu was the person responsible for dropping the beams and recommending the doctor to put her organs into Kaneki's. It was kind of like a last minute idea. But however, that's how Kaneki ended up, becoming a half ghoul because of the fact that his organs was replaced. Now, with their connections, they are able to do so. But in this terms, this is what's raised up a theory of mine. For all the information, my theory focus around, because again, Mushu is definitely at the top of the list of villains. But honestly, I think with him making a copy of Rize, they have more of an opportunity to open and to have Rize being the main villain. Hey, she's the one that made it happen, but also she has so many regrets about that. And her clone can actually, be a provision after that. Basically him giving her all the information and know that Kaneki really, caused that point to where she's at now. Because we don't know about them keeping Rize in of like how much of herself she has lost. So maybe he created a clone to kind of like, bring that, Rize that he wants back to life. We don't know. All we really doing is just speculate. But what crazy is that when Kaneki had his last hallucination before Tokyo Cut and his previous squad came to find him, pretty much Rize did say in his hallucination, I don't know if they can connect that with the living world or not. Hopefully they don't. That would be kind of crazy. But basically, the hallucination Rize pretty much explained to Kaneki that she hate that she ever met Kaneki. For the hallucination, going off of Rize's personality and memories, if it wasn't for her, like seeking Kaneki as a target, we don't know if Rize would have still been on the streets or they eventually would have captured her. She would have been eventually dead. We don't know. We just know the fact that because of Kaneki, this is the reason why Rize is in that position. Not saying Kaneki planned it itself. It's just that like him, for her targeting him in a kind of position that she put him in, pretty much Kaneki was the target that made everything crumble down in her world. So for her hallucination to say that stands out, for me at least. And then this recent chapter stands out also. So in the terms of this, Kaneki definitely is the reason why Rize is in the position she in. He was the first success half ghoul as of right now, and then the other two twins follow suit after that. And then Wushu basically came after that when he experimented on himself. Some people it's just too far along for them to waste more resources on. That's the reason why Armora pretty much never had more resources put into him, because his body was already dying, decelerating, and there was no way for them to stop that. So, in other words, when his time came, if you manga readers already know, this is how it came about. But yeah, this is what's honestly my theory on this. I think that Rize is probably going to end up being the main villain. I mean, it would make sense and make the transition. It would make the attentions definitely grow because of that. And that's what I think is going to happen. Is she's going to become the main villain. Wushu is going to get so much of his emotions. She maybe even kill him. Or maybe he lose the Kaneki because of emotions. Maybe lose the goat entirely because he has his own back army, with even being the former director of the CCG. So gotta realize that he has his own personal people. So him and the CCG, him and Kaneki's goat is definitely going to clash. I don't think they're going to do it right away because Kaneki has to recover with everything that's going on. But to me, it's something that's bound to happen, and I'm not sure it's going to be within the Rize series, because to me, I think it's going to be a third installment of Tokyo Ghoul. I'm not sure when, but to me, I think it's coming more sooner than later. But again, thank you guys for definitely tuning in about my theory about Rize becoming the absolute true villain of the series. Now, I would definitely like for you guys to like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on the video. And if you're on Instagram, I'll be doing my characters of the day revolving around games and anime at AshTheMan08. If you want to get times on when I'm starting to stream my games or upload a video, you can go to my Twitter, AshTheMan008. And again, I definitely thank you guys for definitely tuning in. AshTheMan is out. Got more content coming.